What's up, everybody? LaVar Arrington here with another exciting edition of Up on Game Presents Conversations with a Legend. This week's guy, my guy, dear friend, Leonard Wheeler. Drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, played for the Vikings, and finished out with the Carolina Panthers. Had a great career and is now a major part of the NFL Legends community in helping build and grow the services and the opportunities within the National Football League for its players. So we're going to have an amazing conversation. You're going to enjoy this man. He is brilliant. He has great words of wisdom, and I always find myself in awe and almost ready to grab my tissues when listening to Leonard Wheeler talk about his life and how things have gone and how he accomplished what he's accomplished. It's an amazing interview. You won't want to miss it. Tune in. Up on Game presents Conversation with a Legend, starting right now. All right, everybody. We got the man, the myth, the legend with us, Mr. Leonard Wheeler. All right, so Leonard obviously came from Georgia. You're from. Now, tell me what area it is from Georgia you're from.
Oh, Toccoa, Georgia.
All right, now, what's the population? Because we just had Thomas Davis Sr. on last week, and it was a population of 1,000. What do you have them beat? Is your city bigger than man? I don't even remember the name of it.
I think our city is bigger. We have a population between 7,500 to 8,500.
that ain't much. That ain't much bigger.
I'm just saying, it's a small country town, man.
It's bigger.
People work to keep it small too. Like they're not
Right.
working to try to expand it in too many areas.
I got you. All right. So is it 92? You were drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
But probably most famed for your time in Carolina. A defensive back, a defensive player, defensive minded dude, well respected around the league, not only as a player, but so respected as the person that you are, and have built quite the brand and the reputation. And obviously, I was there in the beginning when the Legends began, and you were such an integral part in all of that. Let's just start off with that right now, because I see you got your Legends community shirt on right
Yeah.
now. Let's start with the Legends community. What's your role? Has your role grown since the start? Where are you at with that these days?
Man, first of all, LaVar, I just have to say thank you, man. I'm just proud of the work that you continue to do. You continue
Thank
to
you.
inspire all of us
Oh man,
to step
appreciate
up
it.
and to really just to continue to do more. So
Thank you.
just want to let you know that. Then really going back, just like you said, you were there from the beginning,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
really in that room 8 years ago when we came and said we are starting the Legends community, and the Legends name came from the commissioner, right? Because the
Mhm.
commissioner didn't want to call us former players. He didn't want to call us has-beens, obviously,
Right. Right.
but he really came up with a name that would stick with us throughout our communities and really help follow the legacy that we've been building our entire lives playing football, playing the sport that we love throughout
Mhm.
our community, throughout our college community, and then throughout our NFL teams community. And
Mhm.
so here you are, the Legends community, man. So I'm co-executive director with Chad Pennington, and it's been an amazing journey, Lamar.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's tremendous. The amount of growth I've seen national ad campaigns, all kinds of stuff. So the growth has been amazing, and I've been proud of watching what you guys have done, and have followed and supported, and obviously being able to interview you guys and bring you guys onto the show and bring light to what it is that you guys are doing.
Yeah,
Just talk to me a little bit about the work. Like,
yeah.
you come together, you build the Legends community, you're an integral part of getting the community built and getting it going. What do you guys do? Because people may not know exactly. Okay, it's a Legends community, but what do you do in particular?
We have so many different it's almost, if you look at a tree, right? And if you look at a fruit tree, the purpose of a fruit tree is to provide fruit.
Mm-hmm.
If the fruit tree is not providing fruit, then it's not living up to its potential,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
Mm-hmm.
look at the Legends community really as the same, to where it is it's a fruit bearing opportunity that continues to really disseminate fruit of the NFLPA. We circle around information with the trust. We have the gridiron greats. We have the Hall of Fame information, we have the PFRP information, and we disseminate all of that information to all of our guys. And the auspice of it, the foundation of the Legends community is a heart of service.
Mm-hmm.
We want to serve our men, right? We know that, look, 13,000 men play 2+ years out of 23,000. The NFL has been around over 100 years, LaVar,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what we want to do is we wanted to bring the guys back, celebrate you, embrace you, and connect you back to the NFL, connect you back to your communities, and connect you back to your teams. But this amazing community that we have as legends. Man, come on. I was just in Minnesota with John Randall just yesterday, right?
Thundercats.
And to
Thundercats.
and to see the work that John Randall's doing as a
Yes,
director for us, it is amazing. So
that's
that's what we
outstanding.
do. We want to celebrate, embrace, and connect with our guys, man. That's what we do.
I get it. I get it. All right. So let's expand on legend talk because it
Okay.
says conversations with a legend. You had a different path to making it to the league, and that path took a lot of perseverance and a lot of overcoming, and what people would deem Leonard Wheeler is an overachiever that was not going to be denied this opportunity to make it to the league. Do you have any moments along the way, whether it be young youth league or youth age or high school age or college age, where there was a defining moment for Leonard Wheeler and he said to himself, this is that moment where I realize I'm supposed to be more. I'm supposed to do more. I can do this. I can make this.
Yeah.
Just that defining moment for you. And if
Yeah.
so, how vivid is that memory and can you share it with us?
Man, you know what, LeVar? That's a great question, by the way. And I think there are defining moments that
Mm-hmm.
get to that moment, right? I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was 8 years old, my mom had on some shades and she was sitting down and then she was crying. And I was like, Mom, why are you crying? And I looked at her and she had a black eye, right? From going through some violence with my dad. And I remember 8 years old telling my mom, I'm gonna play in the NFL one day and I'm gonna take care of you and you're never gonna cry again. And
Mm.
then fast forward, I remember in high school, my high school coach came on my senior year. He said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to play in the NFL." He said, "Do you think you're good enough?" I said, "I know I'm good enough." And he hit me in the chest. He said, "Okay, then let's go." And then fast forward again, I remember my coach in college asked me, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I'm good enough to play in the NFL." I think there are defining moments
Mm-hmm.
that continues to build up to this pinnacle, to this breakthrough moment to where you're like, I will make it to the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then LaVar, even fast forward a little bit more, I pulled a hamstring at the combine coming
Mm.
out of Troy University.
Coming out of
And
Troy.
I'm like, I just pulled a freaking hamstring. Well, I guess they're gonna have to run me at my college because I'm making it to the league,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have all of these moments, man, that you just compile into one, and it creates this hunger that you will not be denied
Mm-hmm.
of what your goal is. And man,
Where do you
that's
think
great.
that came from, Leonard? Like
My
what
mom,
that mindset from your mom?
she is. My mom used to tell me this. She used to say, "Baby, you're gonna get beat down.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna cry. You're gonna have a pity party. When you finish, you better get on your knees and pray, and then get up and take action."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she used to tell me all the time. Pray about it. Get up and move. Have a pity party, get up and move. And that was her entire life. I have three sisters, two brothers. my mom didn't make over $6.50 an hour her whole life.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm like, how did you do that? So here I am, man. She has prayed me into these positions in my life, and I continue to do the same with my own life and with the life of my kids.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me segue from that into you mentioned what your mom made hourly. And if I were to tell you right now that things were going to change for you when that dream became a reality and you became a pro player, money's going to change everything. It's going to change how people approach you. It's going to change your circumstances. Everything's going to change when you get money. If I told you that now today, would you answer it differently than if somebody were to tell you that when you were coming out and you were going into the league and you got a check?
I mean that's a great question, and I think what happens is we grow into this perspective and maturation process because coming out of the projects, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the projects most of my life. I saw my cousin get drafted, Pat Swilling. I saw
Mm-hmm.
Pat get drafted in '85, but I didn't know what I didn't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now looking back on it, when I was coming out of Troy University, I'm like, man, I didn't know nothing. Like,
Mm.
I didn't have a clue. All I knew is that this is what I wanted. Now, I was very fortunate to really have some amazing people around me, LaVar,
Mm-hmm.
like Bill Bradshaw and PM, just have some amazing men that sold into my life that didn't allow me to just go broke after the first year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really open up. But LaVar, that question, that's $100 million question
Mm-hmm.
right there, man. And I think it's a great perspective for every young player that's coming into the league right now to really think about and to say, what if I could fast forward? Do I think that I would be thinking the same way as I am at 21 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you, probably not.
It's impossible, right?
It's impossible, LaVar. It's
Because
not
it's
even
wisdom. You learn, you
experience.
experience, you grow, right?
Yeah.
So what would you give young Leonard Wheeler, young Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons? Where do you start in terms of the idea? Because we got to be realistic when we're talking to this next generation and then the next generation before that, the college guys, the high school guys who have those aspirations. What is the advice? What is the first, what's the first step that you say this is probably the best thing I could do becoming a rookie and getting money. I know what my mom has gone through. Like I said, I want to take care of my mom. I know what my siblings have gone through. I want to take care of
That's
my
right.
siblings, my cousins, my aunts, my grands, my homies, the hood,
That's right.
everybody, the projects. What is the first thing you tell the young Leonard Wheeler, the rest of these rookies? What's the first thing you tell them?
TD Jake said it best, and I'm going to repeat what he said, and I want you to really hear me here. He said, you have three kinds of friends. You have your comrades. Those are the people that fight against what you fight against. He says, second, you have your constituents. Those are the people that fight for what you fight for. And he said, third, you have your confidants. And those are the people that fight for you. And
Mm,
he said, make your circle small. Don't try to have a huge expanded circle.
that's good.
And look, and don't confuse a circle with a network.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Mm-hmm.
not saying don't have a big network of people, but don't have a big circle of confidence.
Wow.
And because constituents, hear me out, LaVar, constituents can almost look and sound like confidants,
Mm-hmm.
but don't get them confused
Mm-hmm.
because they're not your confidant, they're your
Wow.
constituent.
So they're representing. what you're representing on the outside.
Yes, but they're not, but they don't really know how to fight for you. So when it's
Yeah,
all gone, the constituents and comrades,
they go to something different.
they go to the next thing.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So understand who your confidants are in your life and make that circle small and tight.
All right. And that's good because you talked about building communities. And this takes me to the next question I wanted to ask you about brands, branding. Some people feel as though guys should just worry about being players. Guys should just worry about making plays, and branding yourself and understanding the power of what your brand could represent is something that may be secondary to producing and doing the things on the field that many require you to do, and that to be your sole focus. So when thinking about branding, whether you're applying it to yourself, whether you're looking at the opportunities that exist for guys that are in the league now, as it applies to us as retired legends in the legend community, how do you view, what's your vantage point on branding? And clearly, we're having the legends logo right there in front of us. You have a value connected to it. What would your take on it be?
So I teach on emotional intelligence. That is what I do a lot of for the past 20 years. One other thing I teach on is understanding how to be adaptable.
Mm,
What happens today is this is that our players are never going to go back to the way it used to be.
hmm
Our society, because of social media, is never going to go back to the way it used to be.
hmm
What we have to learn how to be is agile. I remember being at the combine a couple years ago, and this coach came to me and said, "Man, look at these players. These players, man, they don't listen. They're not talking to each other anymore. You know, they have their earphones on." And I was listening to him just rant, right? He was going at it. He was going in hard, LaVar,
hmm
going in hard. I said, "Coach," I said, "you want these players to go back to the way it used to be? They're not going to do that. We have to meet them where they are."
hmm
And that's where we have to go. We have to meet our young people where they are, and we have to learn how to speak their language.
hmm
Because if we don't, we're going to create this huge gap, right?
Disconnect, right?
We're
Yeah,
going to create this huge disconnect, and we're going to always think they're wrong, and we're going to always think we're right.
and that's the main focus,
And that's the main focus. So the
right?
branding becomes the branding. What we have
hmm
to do is to help them understand how to manage it,
Uh-huh,
right? Not do away with it, but we
right.
have to help them understand how to manage it and create management expectations.
hmm
And that's what we have to get better at doing, LaVar. And I think the better we get at it, right, the better we open up our minds from our dogmatism. We're so dogmatic at times to
hmm
where we don't even understand that we are regressing.
Mm,
But when you are dogmatic, you're regressing. You're not excelling.
hmm
So when we understand how to surrender to that moment, I'm telling you, we'll meet our young people where they need us to meet them, and they'll be open to our coaching
hmm
and our trust because that's what they want. They just want to know that we trust them to make big decisions. And if we
And
can
that
just help them do that,
that goes beyond the playing field. This isn't
it
just
goes
about
beyond.
the
This
playing
is
field,
life. This
right?
is life, man.
I mean, you got to believe at this point now with how social media works and how you can build a brand if you're knowledgeable about it and you can understand how to go about making your brand monetizable. I tell guys all the time now, you don't even have to make it to the pros to be able to monetize your brand if you create a strong brand
You
that
don't?
people can get behind.
Man, my daughter is she's a global social influencer. She ran track at Georgia Tech. She's 24 years old. She has 850,000 followers on TikTok. And we talk about
You're a
monetization all the
TikToker.
time.
You're a TikToker.
I'm a TikToker. We talk
Right.
about monetizing all the time.
Right.
Like we're talking about monetizing all the, this is building. Remember earlier we talked about building your network?
That's
That's
right.
building your network.
That's right.
That's expanding outside of your comfort zone at times. Where you hear people like, oh man, I don't do all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not even into all that. I'm like, okay, well, to each his own, but don't discourage other people from not doing it.
Correct. Wow. Okay, so tell me about NIL. Some people, in our community, guys, it's one way or the other. It's a hard
Oh,
left or it's a hard right on this NIL. Naming,
hey,
image, likeness to everybody out there. That's naming, image, likeness, meaning that players now have the opportunity to monetize themselves through their name, their image, or their likeness. So
right.
what's because you're an old head. You're a little bit older than me, and it generally seems that the older old heads kind of have like a hard stance on it one way or the other.
Right. The way I look at it is this: is that I think about the young Leonard Wheeler, the young LaVar coming out of our small hometowns, and and really have an opportunity to make. Man, LaVar, I remember, man, my mom sending me some money in college. She sent me $2.50. She said this was half of what I had.
Mm,
I mean,
mm,
seriously. So when I hear that, when I hear the NIL, when I hear the opportunity, now what we have to understand that the pendulum is going to swing, right? So you have nothing, then all of a sudden you have something. The pendulum is going to swing until it balances itself out, right?
mm-hmm,
So once it's what we're in the process of right now is the pendulum swing.
mm,
But what we have to do is continue to manage the process. See, I will always talk about manage expectations,
mm-hmm,
manage expectations. I think that sometimes we're gonna have a little, it's gonna be a little messy at times. Of course, it's gonna be a little messy, the bar,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because it's something that we've never seen. Guess what else we've never seen? We've never seen COVID. So what I'm
Yes.
saying is there are things that happen in our lives, right? To where we've never experienced before.
Mm-hmm,
So what we have to become is agile in the experiencing and
mm-hmm,
not be so dogmatic and thinking that I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm a no, no, no. What we have to be right now is almost independent to the
mm-hmm,
point where we bring the NIL in and we help massage it a little bit and make it make more sense.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the pendulum is gonna swing, LaVar. Like, I mean, it is gonna swing. I see you shaking your head, so you're gonna have to share with us what you think about the NIL as well.
Man, listen, I feel like with the proper with the proper guidance from people like yourself, I
Yes.
think that this will be something that is powerful, it's empowering, it's
Yes.
inspiring, inspirational to think that at some point it will be legal for a high school player, a youth football player, youth sports, any sport to be able to monetize doing
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Instead of, everybody doesn't grow up hard, but everybody grows up wanting to chase the American dream, whether it's a silver
Everyone.
spoon background or you have an impoverished background. Everybody grows up wanting to experience what the American dream is. And
Yes.
so to me, I just think that it comes down to really, really empowering the parents or the caretakers to
Yes.
understand the value of what we mentioned before, community, right? So
Yeah.
understanding that building your community doesn't start when you become a high school or college or pro player. That begins the moment you go out of your house. You go to the church, you go to your elementary school, you go to your youth athletics and organizations, whatever it may be, that you might like choir, you might be a thespian, you might play an
Whatever.
instrument, right?
Right.
You now have the ability to grow your brand and monetize your brand because society is now saying within the sports world
Mhm.
that we're going to acknowledge that you guys can generate a buy-in to who you are. So to
And
me,
how
if
long how
go,
long have we been in that space and not been able to work? not being able to go out and learn how to even create, right? I mean, we were stifled now for a long time. I mean, so for these that you used the word a second ago, you said empowering.
Yes.
Empower,
Hmm.
empower, empower, empower. These athletes are being empowered right now. And they're gonna believe that they can be more than just athletes.
But they have to be educated
Yes.
because
No,
what's
they
going to
have,
happen
and the
is
parents, just like you said, and the parents have
that
to be
might be the
educated.
most important part of it, really, because the parents dictate so much at these points in time, at these moments. Because if it's not the parent that's dictating it, it's now going to be a handler, right?
Oh, you almost hurt my heart when you said that, man,
It's going
because
it's going it's going to
we
be the
know what that
handler.
we know we know what that means, right? So there's
Yes.
gonna have to be some accountability.
Hmm.
There's gonna have to be some accountability to create some real structure around how everything will operate from the
Tax
beginning,
implications.
all of it, from the beginning to from and I think there needs to be some educational components implemented before you can even receive a dime.
That's why I'm putting it out there to the guy. Yeah, I mean, this is the guy. Like you're
Russell,
going to go back to Tracy or you're going to go back to Troy, and this now becomes a conversation where the Legends community has had so many people that are so well structured and seasoned on understanding these topics and these issues to be able to actually communicate them to the aspiring next generation
yeah.
and current generation of guys that are coming through. So I feel like it's vitally important because it's like a laser. I feel like the NIL is like a laser. If finely calibrated and used correctly, you can carve out and create a Mount Rushmore and the detail of it. But if it's out of control, you'll destroy that whole mountain. You'll knock it all down.
And I think that's where the accountability comes in for us, right? Is
Hmm.
that in the league office right now, what we're doing, we're putting together an entire structured process to where we can take the guys from when they come into the league, and as they're going through the league, we follow their progression. We continue to educate them, go and take them through benefits and broadcast boot camps and uh, uh, public speaking boot camps. And then we transition them right into the Legends community. So they start out in the community of current players, go into the Legends community, and we continue to watch them grow until they become rightful old men.
Hmm.
Seriously, to where we continue to help them and their families continue to prosper on and off the field.
I know that's right. All right, here I got two more questions for you.
Okay.
I got two. Now, you went to a different school before you went to Troy. You transferred, right?
I was at Ole Miss.
And while you were at Ole Miss, I mean, heading towards Ole Miss, what was your recruiting process like, and how did that feel to get that opportunity to go to Ole Miss, and then what led to going to Troy?
Gosh, LaVar, man. So I started off my college career in junior college
Okay.
in Banner Elk, North
So
Carolina.
what was the recruiting? Let's go back to high school.
Okay.
What was work? So that means you weren't highly recruited then is
I
what that
wasn't
means.
highly recruited. Yep. I
Okay.
wasn't highly recruited. Switched positions in high school. As a ninth grader, I didn't have any identity. So don't laugh. Do not laugh, LaVar.
It's all
I was,
good, brother.
I was an offensive lineman in the ninth grade.
That's laughable. That is
Oh,
laughable. All right.
yeah.
Now what was your size? What were your measurements
Oh,
when you was that offensive
I was
lineman?
a little bitty dude. Like, listen. I was a running back in running back in junior high, middle school. And then the coach, I didn't have an identity. He was like, well, let's just try my offensive. I was faster than everybody on the team. But anyway, so then
What
this coach,
was it guard? Was it tackle? Was it
I was a
center?
guard.
Did you pull? Did you
Dude,
pull?
yeah, I got pulled over. Dude, they were running me over all the time. I was like a pinball machine. Like it was just crazy. And then my 10th grade, the coach looked over there. He said, what are you doing over here? He was like, come back here, defensive backs with me. I was like, hold on, I get to hit people my size?
Right.
It was over.
Over.
game was over. And
They
then
all had to pay for that pulling
game was,
guard.
the game was over. I was like, hold on, you're my size. I'm gonna knock you out. I've been running horses over here. And
Right.
so so a new coach came my senior year in high school because I was always looking to either be a Marine, FBI agent, or CIA.
I can see that.
Right? So I was always in that space, Marine, FBI, CIA, like this game on. He
Mm-hmm.
came my senior year, man. He hit me in the chest. He was like, "What do you want to do?" That's when I told you I want to play
Okay.
in the
Okay.
NFL. I want to play in the NFL. He said, "Well, you can't do that without going to college." And
Mm-hmm.
man, he he put me in a van, me and my cousin. We couldn't afford to go visit. He put us in a van, took us up to Lees McRae Junior College in North Carolina, introduced us to the coaches. It was my only visit ever.
Wow.
And man, I signed with them, and the rest is history, bro. I
Wow.
played 2 years there, recruited from everywhere, Florida State, North Carolina, everywhere. Ended up signing with, but if I tell you the story of how I got to Ole Miss, though, I don't know if you will believe me, LaVar.
Come on.
LaVar, after my second year, I set out of college because I wanted to go and help my mom work,
Okay.
make some money. So I said, Mom, she said, baby, I want you to go back to school. I said, I will, I promise, but let me just help you work. So I had played 2 years. I'm at home. We don't have a cell phone. We don't have a telephone at home. This coach called me from Florida State. He's on his way to Ole Miss. And he said, I've been looking for you for a whole year.
Wow.
And he said, the only number I could find was your aunt's phone number that you put down. And
Wow.
he said, son, I want you to come and play for me at Ole Miss. I said, Coach, I don't have any money. I can't get there. I have no gas money. My mom gave me her only car and said, I want you to go to school. Dude,
Wow.
do you listen? The community raised money for me to even have gas to get there.
Wow. Get there. Man.
Bro, listen, man. It that's why I'm such an advocate about community. You can't make it without
Without that
people.
community. Right.
You can't make it without people
Yeah.
around you, without a circle of people that's loving on you. It doesn't happen.
Wow.
It just doesn't happen.
Let me
Never.
ask you this. This is my last question for you. What does Leonard Wheeler want to be remembered for? What is your ultimate goal of legacy?
Man, I have a thing that I say, I don't want to go to heaven with any talents.
Mm,
None. I want to be empty. And man, my thing is, how do I die empty? I die empty by serving people.
hmm
I die empty by staying creative. I die empty by staying connected to the resource, right? I
hmm
die empty by continually filling up other people around me so that they can also be filled and die empty. So that they can continue to feel other people and other people and other people. That's my legacy, bro. It's
mm
not about fame, it's about how do I die empty? How do
hmm
I die a servant? How do I do that? When I think of Martin Luther King, we have the same birthday,
mm
right? He's been a mentor of mine in my own head my whole life. How do I
mm
continue to serve in a way to where all you see is love?
You know,
That's
if
it.
you had a mustache, you kind of look like Martin
I'm just
Luther
saying.
King, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm
Hey, look,
just saying, you look like
look,
Martin Luther
there it
King
is right
without the
there. You see
mustache.
it.
Player,
You
look,
see it.
that's
You
Leonard
see
Wheeler right there.
it.
I am Martin Luther King. That's all right. That's powerful, man.
That's it, bro.
That's powerful. And listen, I'll be the first one to put it out there and say that I know you are the man that you say you are. Like a lot of people are lip service people and they'll sell you on what they think they want you to know they are or what they think is the right approach for what it is that because they're seeking something. You
Mm.
always been a genuine dude, man.
Thank you,
Always
brother. I
been a
appreciate you.
dude I enjoyed being around, learned a lot, enjoyed the energy exchange. So, man,
Appreciate you, brother.
this has been a delight to have this
I appreciate
because
you.
people need to hear it. The whole purpose of conversations with a legend is that people, all walks of life, no matter if it's parent, if it's athlete, if it's just everyday person trying to make it through, there are some extraordinary stories
Mhm.
of perseverance and overcoming. We all have things we have to get through. And I just feel like we've gotten to a point in time now, Leonard, where our society has gotten very comfortable with allowing itself to be okay with the excuse making of the
Mhm.
odds are stacked up too high against me, and the excuses are more relevant and hold more weight
Mhm.
than the idea of breaking through and persevering no matter what the odds are. Getting that tap on the chest and saying,
Yeah,
then do it.
yeah, let's
Then
go.
do it. Let's
Let's go.
go, right?
I mean, LaVar, could we have any more resources available to us as we do right now in the
Man,
world? But
it's
yet
a
we
ton.
continue to find every excuse to justify our reason for not moving.
Hmm.
Seriously, we continue to find them. We'll dig for them, and if we can't find them, we'll make them up.
Yeah.
Listen, man, what you're doing right now is what the world needs. Is that you are taking and you're disseminating your fruit. You are feeding the people. You're like that apple tree, brother. Is that you are saying, I'm producing fruit. Here, take of this and eat and be
Hmm.
filled. And that's what you're doing right now. You're bringing us on. You're allowing us to amplify a message that you helped build. And not only that, you're taking your platform from being this amazing player on the field, this linebacker that was taking people's heads off. But now what you're doing is that you're allowing people to be educated so that you can place their head on in the right direction and
Hmm.
continue to lead them by being a leader.
That's
And
right.
that's freaking encouraging, bro.
Hey, man, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
That's
we,
what we do.
that's
Let's
what we do.
go.
That's what we do. We're gonna keep going, and you know what? There's gonna be a build off. There's gonna be a build off to this now,
That's
because
right.
I'm planning on us having these panels. I want us to sit in person. I want us to
I
go
love
into the communities and sit down and have these discussions right in front of them, right in front of our people, right in front of the people that
it.
are trying to find that fruit and trying to find their what and their why so that they can learn what their how is. And this is something that I know is right. This is something that we need to do, is take our voices of wisdom and experience and put it out there. Put it
Mhm.
out there because, like you said,
Mhm.
there's no reason to try to take it to heaven, right? You
No,
got to
brother.
give it all away while we're here. So,
Give it all away. Man,
man,
I just appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
man, back at you. I appreciate you coming on. This is not the last time for certain.
No, sir.
Again, this will be something that, in my humble estimation, we're going to grow it and see how many lives we can impact and change, including our own within our own community.
Yes, sir.
Because it's never too late to start branding yourself and getting active and getting involved and finding your
Mhm.
voice and having that voice of reason and change. It's never too late. So we'll be able to use this to
Mhm.
to impact our own legends community
Never
as
too
well
late.
as extended communities out there. So, man,
Never too late.
appreciate you coming on.
That's the word right there, though. Never too late.
Never too late.
Yeah, I
It's
think
never
some
too
of
late.
us are, we think it is too late. And you just reminded all of us that it's not.
That's right. That's right. Leonard Wheeler, everyone.
Thank you, brother. Thank you
Leonard
for
Wheeler.
having me.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Uh, yeah, this has been another
Let's
edition.
go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Up on Game presents Conversations with a Legend. That's Leonard Wheeler. I'm LaVar Arrington. We're signing out. Another amazing interview, another amazing discussion as we continue down this journey of changing lives and giving our life stories to help inspire guys and people to be motivated to aspire and accomplish in life. Y'all be well. Until next time, I'm LaVar, and that's Leonard.